From the 7,640 Philippine Islands to Fort St. John, British Columbia. This is SITU, thriving in our new Bayan.
I am Elysia Cruz. As for circumstance, before I came to Canada, my mom was already working with a company in the Philippines, and they were able to open another company in Canada, and her boss brought her to Canada. And we waited for 5 years for the visa to be approved, and that is how me and my dad came to join her here. Being away from my mom for 5 years, I was a very confused child. I don't remember much, but I do remember being excited to be able to be together as a family again. And so I think I was able to put on a very optimistic mindset and just waited patiently. I was 5 years old when my mom first left, and it was just me and my dad in our little home in Cavite, Imus, Cavite. During my time back home, I really focused on my studies because it is such a big deal to study well in the Philippines, and I worked really hard on that. And my mom would come and visit me once a year, maybe twice a year, and she would help me study as well. And my grades would boom every time she came home. And yeah. Upon arriving to Canada, we landed in Vancouver, where my mom and her co-workers/friends were there to welcome us. Leaving Philippines was a really sad experience for me. Just leaving my family back home and having to start a new life. But at the same time, I was very excited to finally be with the family together again. And my first impression of Canada when we landed in Vancouver was that it's so clean, no traffic, and extremely cold. We arrived in Fort St. John a few days after settling in Vancouver. We rented a U-Haul and we drove all the way here. It was a 2-day drive for us, and I was able to see the beautiful views that BC had to offer, and it's something that I've never seen before. I felt like I was in a different planet, I suppose. I started school in Fort St. John. I was in grade 4. I attended Duncan Cran Elementary School, and I remember feeling extremely nervous. I wasn't very confident with my English, and I was very closed off and shy. I started opening up a lot more when my teachers would come up to me and actually understand how I was feeling, and I had someone else to talk to, and that really helped me make friends because I had someone that I could trust in the room. And I think that's just how it started for me. The one thing I wish I was able to experience here in Fort St. John was the community with the neighbors. I know back home in the Philippines, I was friends with all of my neighbors and we would stay up and play all night. But here, I don't think there were any kids in the neighborhood that I was able to play with. Yeah. Having the Filipino community in Fort St. John really reminded me of home and remind me that my roots were in the Philippines. I think I was so distracted by trying to fit in and becoming friends with all of the people at school that I eventually forgot to speak Tagalog as well. And the Filipino community and the friends that I made really helped me like tune in back to the Filipino roots. The first performance I did was at my grade 4 talent show. It was actually my mom who convinced me to do it. She knew that I really wanted to, but I was still so super shy and closed off, but she knew that I would have so much fun. And eventually I caved in, the performance in me, the performer in me, caved in and decided to go on with it. And I just found the love of performing again. It's not like just karaoke nights back in the Philippines, and I think that's what really sparked my performance career. After performing for the talent show, I had a lot of faculty ask me to perform for assemblies and stuff, and that carried on to middle school as well, performing for talent shows and Canada Day assemblies and Remembrance Day assemblies. And I found out about music theater in middle school because it was an elective at the time, and in my mind it was like, this is performing but extra, so I just wanted to try it out. And it's so much fun, the community is so great, and I get to perform with my peers, and that's what I love the most. Yeah. What I hope to contribute as an immigrant here in Canada is to be a representative, a Filipino representative in the arts, especially in music theater. I know that diversity is a thing that we are also working on in all parts of the world, and it also happens in the arts, and we've had so many talks about that, and I just want to be a face for young kids who look like me and help them realize that they can do anything that they want. Yeah. I realized that school here in Canada has a lot more freedom for children to be children, and because it wasn't so competitive, a lot of us weren't stressed to the brim as children to do well in school, but it also gave me a sense of responsibility to keep working hard, because even though there's not that much stress, I think it was my job to do well in school. My advice for immigrant children is to not forget your language. Keep talking to your parents in Tagalog whenever you're at home, because I almost forgot how to speak the language, and I got really, really sad, but I was able to pick it up. And a little trick to that is to find Filipino friends and stay in tune with your Filipino roots. And it's just so much more fun when you have someone you can connect with on a different level. I hope that the Filipino-Canadians in Fort St. John can bring back the community that we felt, I think back in 2015, where the Filipino community was really booming and participating in all of the events. During Canada Day, the World, what is it called?
World's Fair.
Oh, the World's Fair, and we had our own celebration of Independence Day.
No more limiting myself, and no more making my parents worry because I feel like I'm never gonna be good enough. I am so much better than the person who first started here at Sheridan. This is a new me. This is a new life.
To my fellow Canadians here in Fort St. John, I would like to thank you. I felt very welcome and I felt heard and seen, and I hope that you continue to make this community a welcoming place for all of the other immigrants and all of the BIPOC people that will reach this place and make them feel at home as well. I did have a dream when I first came to Canada, and that is to become an engineer like my parents. I studied really, really hard because I wanted to pursue that dream and also support my only family here. But that has changed. Fast forward to today, my dream is to perform and travel the world while doing it. It was a very, very hard decision for me, because as the oldest first-generation immigrant, I felt like it was also my duty to help us be stable. But my parents were very, very supportive and really wanted me to be happy. And as long as I continue to work hard and pursue my dreams, I think I'll call that a success. Oh, I feel like we had more freedom in the Philippines.